Welcome back to the side stage. This is a weekly metal, hardcore, and punk news show. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and you hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. I have new episodes dropping weekly on Fridays at 10 a.m. EST. If we haven't met yet, I'm Karle Gwen. I'm Hair Metal X on Instagram, and I host a metal podcast called The Ladies of Metal Show, where I interview metal, hardcore, and punk bands. You can search it on any podcast platform. Just search The Ladies of Metal Show. And today I'm repping some Straight from the Path merch. They're one of my favorite bands. And probably the biggest story this week, if you haven't heard already, Every Time I Die has broken up. Apparently the band basically stopped hearing from singer Keith Buckley and sounds like he's straight up ghosted. This is super bizarre. Guitarist Andy Williams posted a brief explanation on his Instagram, and Keith released a statement on Wednesday where he called the band's breakup inevitable and said that it should have happened nearly a decade ago. The full story is linked below. So Every Time I Die played their last show without Keith in December and don't have plans to replace him, even with their tour booked as direct support for Under Oath, which starts next month. Under Oath posted in their Instagram story that they'll be announcing a new support band on Monday, so I'll have that for you next episode. And speaking of, Under Oath released their 9th full-length record last Friday called Voyeurist, and vocalist Spencer Chamberlain sat down with Revolver magazine this week. In the interview, he picks the best Under Oath song for introducing new fans, which is crazy to think about considering this band has been around for over 20 years. But Spencer said, "This song was the start to us finding our identity in the genre," referring to, of course, the greatest song ever, Writing on the Walls. From my favorite record of all time, from any band, Define the Great Line. You can read the full article at the link below. New singles, Era put out a track called Nigh to Silence yesterday, and you can watch and listen on YouTube, and that's linked below. Landmarks released another new track off of their upcoming record Lost in the Waves, which features Drew York, which is the singer of Straight from the Path, and that song is called Death. They also dropped a music video to go along with it, which is a very cool watch, and that's linked below. And Lost in the Waves drops on March 18th. In tour news, there was a huge announcement this week. Slipknot's Knotfest Roadshow 2022 is officially booked from March till the beginning of June this year, with In This Moment and Ginger on the first leg through April, and Cypress Hill and Horror on the second leg in May and June. Tickets are on sale at knotfestroadshow.com. The North American Siege Tour was also announced this week and features Behemoth and Arch Enemy, and they have special guests along with them, Napalm Death and Untoothers. That's an April through May US tour, and tickets are at behemoth.pl or archenemy.net, and those are both linked below. One of my favorite bands from back in the day, Texas in July, seem to be back in some capacity. They announced a show this week. It's their 15th anniversary show. They're playing with This or the Apocalypse, which is another band they used to play with a lot back in the day in like the Lancaster metalcore scene. And that'll be May 7th in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And tickets are linked below. And finally, 2 years later, August Burns Red and Killswitch Engage can finally head out on their tour. So that starts next week, January 28th, and runs through March 12th. I'll be at the Philly show at the Franklin Music Hall. Those tickets have been in my email since March 2020. So safe to say I'm pretty excited for that show. August Burns Red is one of my favorite bands. So Philly people, I will see you there. And All That Remains is celebrating 15 years of their record, The Fall of Ideals, with a headlining tour coming up with direct support from Miss May I and features Varials and Tala. That one kicks off March 12th through April 17th. And for new records, this is a big one for me. Comeback Kids' new record, Heavy Steps, is out today. Really hoping for a US tour announcement from them. And looking ahead to next Friday, The Last 10 Seconds of Life are releasing their self-titled record, and you can catch them on tour in support of Cattle Decapitation, and also Creeping Death is on that tour too, and that goes through February 20th. And this week, Meshuggah announced the release date for their upcoming record called Immutable, which will be out April 1st, and it's their first record in 6 years, so it's pretty long overdue. And on your radar, I mentioned this band is on tour with All That Remains this spring. Varials is a Pennsylvania hardcore band on Fearless Records. Their last record, called In Darkness, came out in 2019, so they're definitely due for some new music. There's a track on there called South of One, which features Brendan Murphy from Counterparts, so obviously that's my favorite. That would be my pick for you guys. And they remind me of early Parkway Drive, Gideon, and maybe even a little Deftones in there as well. It's like tough guy at the gym vibes. So you can find them on all socials at VarialsPA and varialspa.net. And that's it for this week. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss all the heavy music news that goes down each week, and like this video if you did enjoy it. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out my podcast, The Ladies of Metal Show. Lots of great interviews with your favorite metal bands like Miss May I, Straight from the Path, Era, and more. And you can search it on any podcast platform. And join my fam on the gram at HairMetalX. Thanks for watching The Side Stage. I'm Karle Gwen. See you next Friday.